What's going on YouTube? Joe Miner 3131 back again alongside JS Miner 87 here on the DFS Quarry channel on YouTube. We're going to break down the Monday, December 17th, 2018 main slate. We're looking at 5 games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get started, if you happen to like the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share the video if you would please with everybody you know. We hit 100 subscribers. We're going to have a contest and give away a free NHL hat to whoever wins, and the winner of the contest will have choice on what hat he gets or she may get, however it might work out. So with that being said, it's a little later here. Jared, how you doing tonight?
In the fantasy world here, mediocre day. Certainly I'm winning the whole 6-person contest we have right now. But along the lines of my fantasy football team, injuries came at the wrong time. I mean, I had James Conner, Melvin Gordon on my team that were pretty much, the main reason I was second in the league. And them both out this week kind of put me in a bad way. So hopefully I can rebound and take third place next week.
Fair enough. That being said, we'll jump right into it here. 5 games, not a real big slate here. First game up though, Anaheim Ducks heading into Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. We'll watch the goalies here. I wrote down what they have projected on the face-off. Probably ain't going to be this way. But anyway, should be John Gibson, and they're saying Matt Murray in the net for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh minus 170 home favorite, over-under of 6 in this game here. Jared, what do you like?
For me here, I think you got a possible game stack here. When you look, I don't want any of Murray just for the fact that if it is Murray or even if it's the Smith here, I just don't think Anaheim shoots enough to validate playing them in certainly a cash game or a GPP game. So for me, I'm looking probably more at the second line here, the Malkin, Kessel, Reese line again. Look at Crosby, no goals in 5 games. Do you expect him to get on the board again at 7,900? I think that's a little bit too much. I think you take your chance here on the Malkin, Kessel line there. When you look at Pittsburgh here, yeah, I don't think they're getting enough power play chances to validate playing that looking in heavily. Well, check that. I didn't know that I thought Anaheim was a disciplined team here, but it looks like they're taking roughly 4 penalties a game. So that might put the Penguins power play in play here. So I still don't think, Malkin, Kessel's there. I think you could maybe look at Gensel here as your third pivot player on that power play if you want. I guess we have an injury to – just shows how much I've been busy this weekend. Looks like we have an injury to Letang there. I'll have to keep an eye out on that. So no Letang, it's Mod on that power play. And I guess if you didn't want Gensel, you could take a shot at Oli Mata on that power play as well. But that's really where I'm at. Is there any cheap defenseman here we could take a gander at? Certainly maybe Dumoulin there at 3,300 also in play. Flipping the script here, Andre Kasha in play there on that first line, 5,700. The reason I think that, Pittsburgh giving up 2 to 3 goals a game here certainly seems to be the storybook here. So, whether you want any, I think you look at that first power play or that first line combination as a whole. Certainly a storyline might be Daniel Sprong on that third line coming back to Pittsburgh. That could be something that interests you as well. But for me, I'd look at that first line, whether it's Pontus Aberg with Kasha. But I have a sneaky suspicion about Getzlaf playing well against Pittsburgh tomorrow. Certainly when you look across the defense here for Anaheim. Hampus Lindholm, Brandon Montour, Josh Manson. Three great defensemen that you can certainly slide into your lineup tomorrow. And Gibson, he is 4-1 in the past 5, but against Pittsburgh tomorrow, I just don't think he is a good fit for tomorrow's lineup.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you there on Anaheim. I think if I'm playing Anaheim, it'll be I like 5 forwards here. Aberg, Getzlaf, and Kasha. Maybe a little Silverberg. And I do like the narrative street there with Sprong coming back to Pittsburgh. It'll be his first game back since the trade. I'm sure it'll fare well. I can't see Pittsburgh fans booing him or anything like that. Making him feel shitty, out of place, or anything like that. Probably be running down there, try to take selfies with him and whatnot. Defensively, Brandon Montour, 5,200. That's a little, up there, but production's there well enough. I don't want no Gibson here. You could take Gibson in a GPP and get away with it. I think it could work out real well. We know the Pens are going to they'll put enough pucks on the net for him. I can't see him shutting them out, but if he holds them to 1 goal in a GPP, Gibson could break this slate. It's risky, but that's what you're doing in a GPP anyways, taking some risk. And like I said, Montour, I draw a little bit of interest there with Montour. So I'm okay with that, I guess. Pittsburgh side of it, I guess it depends on what you think is going to happen here. Like, do we think that? I mean, obviously, Getzlaf is he's a pretty stout center, well-rounded center. He can play defense. So we're thinking, if we're thinking that Getzlaf's line is going to match up with Crosby's line, that would push me down then more towards the Malkin Kessel line with Zach Austin Reese. So I wouldn't mind that. I think that's where I'll end up going more often than not with Pittsburgh tomorrow. I think you can do that and be fine with it. And let's not get it twisted, guys. Rusty is on fire right now. And at 4,100 for that price with the production that he's had as of recent late here, I wouldn't mind Russ in a cash game at all. Not with the way he's playing and not the price tag. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I just think it'd be neat to play him and get away with it because I don't think he'll draw the ownership. So I do have some interest in Russ. Am I going to rule out Crosby's line? No, I'm not going to rule out Crosby's line at all. I think they're still in play. Actually, I think Crosby's due for a goal. He's not scored any goals over the last 5 games, so he's due. So we'll see. You know what I mean? It's pretty interesting. Anaheim Pittsburgh is interesting. I think we could see some goals here, or I think this game could stay real tight. But I'm expecting goals, I think, in this game. So I do want to go here. And as far as Murray, hell no. I don't think that Anaheim will put enough pucks on the net to make him tournament worthy at all. I just don't think he'll see the shots. That's pretty much all I got here. Take a look at the top 6 with a sprinkling of Brian Rust in there. That should work out fine for you. Defensively here, well, I guess if Dumoulin is or if Letang is going to be out, I don't want none of it. If Letang's out here, I don't want any defense from Pittsburgh at all. I just don't think they're DFS viable enough for me to play. Next game up on the slate, we have the Las Vegas Golden Knights heading into Columbus to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. We don't have a line in this game. I seem projected for Marc-Andre Fleury facing off against Bobrovsky. What do you like here, Jared?
Well, I took down before the slate here, went to left wing lock, at least 5-on-5 there that they give out stats there. And I kind of pinpointed the top 10 to see what lines we had, and Vegas had one. And it is that first line with Riley Smith, William Karlsson, and Marchessault. So I think you can run a little bit of those, and I'll go into that a little more in depth here. And also defensively, top 10 defensively Vegas had with McNabb and Schmidt being pretty good on the goals for column there, guys. So, and you look, and Vegas is starting to get some things together here. Like we said there, Marchessault is starting to shoot a little bit more, Karlsson shooting a little bit more. I think that's a good line to go with here against this Columbus team that is so streaky. Maybe sprinkle in a little Alex Tuch too if you want. It's a 5-game slate, so I wouldn't mind if you wanted to pair, maybe cut out one of those top first lines and put in Tuch for that power play exposure as well. That's where I would go. Defensively, as I said, you look at McNabb and Schmidt being on the ice here. I think I still have it up. Yeah, McNabb and Schmidt have been on the ice for 12 goals, 4 and 7 goals against in the past 10 games for a defenseman. So, what's that tell me when I'm looking at this stat? It means the potential for a goal, potential for an assist is there. And that's what you really want to look at. McNabb at 3,000, certainly, his production doesn't show a lot. But when you're looking at potential and you're saying, I just need a little bit of a chance guy, so to speak, that's cheap, it might be McNabb, guys. Schmidt, 2 assists, 9 shots, and 7 blocks in the past, 5 for 4,100. I think you could go there. I'm not really going to talk. Probably throughout, you won't see me talk much on the 3rd and 4th line guys, just because of 5-game slate. I think you're going to look a little bit higher and run top 6 across most of your guys. Thomas Nosek on that 4th line, a goal and assist is potential. What do I got going on here? Some ad, I guess, there. But that's where I'm at. Do I have interest here in Fleury? I don't. I think I'm going to look elsewhere. He's a 3.37 GAA over the past 5. Sure, he's got those 3 wins, but against the Columbus team at home, I don't know if he's your best play tomorrow. When I flip the script to Columbus here, I do have more of an inkling on the Vegas side just because of that first line production. So my stack's going to favor the Vegas side. When I'm looking at the Columbus side, I'm probably going to one-off Panarin there. Breadman at 6,400 with 5 points in 5 games, 18 shots and 2 blocks with that 1 power play point and 21 minutes of ice time. Certainly, you can make a case to stack, play your Panarin Atkinson. Atkinson at 7,400. I think I'd just rather see use the money elsewhere on this one. Another interesting one here on the 3rd line is Bjorkstrand. So like you said, you're looking for that last one-off guy. You don't know where to go. Bjorkstrand 3,400 with a goal and 2 assists and 14 shots in the past 5 games. Might be a winning combination to put in there just to get that salary savings. Seth Jones at 6,200 from the defensive side, 3 goals and assists, 20 shots, 9 blocks is certainly doable. He got me a nice snowflake, half a point the other night, so I'm not playing him, the fucking bastard. Pardon my French there, but it was just a bad night all around for me the other night. But Bobrovsky's, I feel like I never hit him, but I think he might be in play. 2-1-1 with a 2.69.901 in the past 5. There is only 5 games. Vegas shoots a lot. If he can get that win and give up maybe 2 to 3 goals, I think you still have a nice 7.6, 8-point night there with Bobrovsky.
Well, this game's okay, I guess. I don't know how much I'll be playing it though. As far as the Vegas side goes, I think it's your normal guys. Focus the attention on the top line. Marshall Salt, Carlson, and Riley Smith. They're all pretty fairly priced. Marshall Salt's price is up there a little bit, kind of teetering towards the top edge of what I'd want to pay for him, but still okay. Pacioretty with Stastny and Took. I kind of like that. Oh man, we'll see how Stastny gets going here. But I do draw some interest there slightly. Yeah, I don't think I would want to go below that at all. So it'd be the top 6 for me here, certainly for Vegas, obviously. Defensively, yeah, defense is ugly here too. No defense, surprisingly. I don't want any defense from here. I'm not going to rule Fleury out yet. It depends on how I game script this game out. Hey, Mitch is in the chat. Nice. Columbus side here, man. I'm with you, Jared, all the way around. I think it's Dubois with the Breadman and Atkinson. That's your focus. Atkinson's so expensive, man. 7,400, and he's not scored. He's got to be due for a goal here. Oh man. But I don't want to go below there. At all. It's ugly. I'll let you play Bjorkstrand. I'm not gonna do that. The second line is even not good. It's top line for Columbus here for me. I won't stray away from the top line. Defensively, Seth Jones, 6,200. It's great price. Obviously, we don't have Letang on this slate here, so I'm absolutely in play for Seth Jones, 100% in play. Will I lock him in? I'm not sure I'll lock him in at 6,200, but I will absolutely have exposure to Seth Jones here tomorrow. And Bobrovsky, I'm going to keep him in play too because we know that, Vegas can shoot the puck. They can put the pucks on the net. That's what we need. We need saves. So I'm not going to rule out Bobrovsky at 7,600. That's not too bad of a price. We'll keep him in play. Next game up on the slate, we got the Boston Bruins heading into Montreal to take on the Montreal Canadiens. Should be Halak and Price here. Montreal minus 115 home favorite. Over under of 6 in this game. So it's pretty much a pick 'em game here for us. Got interest here, man. I'm going to roll out a Montreal stack, I think. What do you like here?
Yeah, you said it right there. Another top 10 line here for the past 10 games, and it's that top line. They've even bumped them up there. If we recall, certainly a lot of us that focus on watching the channel on a daily basis know that it was Gallagher, Deneau, and Tatar as that top line for much of the first half of the year here. Now we got Andrew Shaw, Max Domi, and Jonathan Drouin on that first line, picking up a couple more shifts and a couple more minutes ice time, and it's certainly something that they've taken to heart. So Druin, Domi, Shaw, and the interesting thing about this three-person line is it's a hard one to leave out one of them. You look at, when we look at the Malkin line, for example, it's Malkin, Kessel, and somehow Reese might not get as much. We looked at last game here with Panarin and Luc Dubois and Atkinson, and it seems like Luc Dubois might be the guy you're leaving out. So this here's one where they all kind of get in on that point production. It's a little hard. They all get about even shots, and so it's harder to leave out one. You're afraid that you pick that one guy to leave out, and he's the guy that gets all the points. And 3-game slate against a Halak goalie that, when you look at Halak in the past 5, he's played 2 of Boston's games here. He's got a 3.53. So Montreal is going to score tomorrow, especially on home ice. So I'm going to look at all 3 of those, Joe. And I agree with you. I would play that whole top 3. And I might even have interest to throw Gallagher in for some shot production. Maybe he gets another goal on that front. I know I stacked 4 the other night. Didn't pan out. Looking down here, though, this third line, another interesting one. You got 5 goals in the last 5 games on this third line, and they got stats that are pretty comparable to that second line, Joe. That, Byron, Kotkaniemi, and Arturi Lekkinen, they're all shooting the puck, and the points are there. So, even if you wanted to piece one of those 3 guys there on that third line instead of the second line, interchange them, say, Gallagher, I like your stuff, but I think it's coming from the third line. I wouldn't disagree with you. Those are stats that, match a lot of second liners, actually. Defensively here, we have another one that hit the top 10 for defense here, and it's Shea Weber and Kulak. 9 goals, 4 on the ice in the past 10 games. So, like I said, you can throw them guys in. Shea Weber, I think at 6,000, he's a pencil in. Jeff Petrie, again on that second line, 7 points in 5 games. He's another good play. These defensemen make you almost want to say, I just want to play 2 forwards and a defenseman here. But you know what? In a 5-game slate, I don't have any issues. If you want to say, I want 5 guys from this Montreal team in a blowout, I'm okay with that. Because, the contests are as little as a buck. If you get a GPP stack and hit it right, turn your quarter into $10 or something. Anything's possible here in the NHL world. And for me, I do have interest in Carey Price here. And certainly, you did say it's Carey Price, right? They're not going to ever play Niemi again, are they? But you got to play. You can play Price, and you get some savings from that forward combination to certainly pencil in Price. When you look at the defensive side or the Boston side of things, Pasternak's making himself back in play again. Marchand's back in play again. Krejci's back in play again. I think they were really lacking that center piece that was kind of, it took them a while to realize that Krejci was the best fit on that first line. And, if I looked at past 3 games on left wing lock, which is something I'd recommend you guys maybe do, this Boston team might be in the top 10 for the past 3 games. I mean, look at this. This is 9 points for Marchand, 8 points for Krejci, 7 points for Pasternak in the past 5 games. Interesting stuff. And I think if you wanted to maybe cut down your Montreal side and throw in a one-off here, you could do it. Because it's hard to think that there might not be a goal or some sort of point action with that top line on Boston that's been kind of hot lately. Torrey Krug at 5,800 here. Another solid play there, guys. And Grzelcyk here at 3,000 might be your cheap defenseman there. At 3,000, you can play him as well. But that's really where I'm at, and certainly no interest here in the Hall Lock train.
Man, I'm I'm playing Montreal. I really think I am. I don't want no Halak, although Montreal does shoot the puck, man. So, if it just so happens that Montreal's shooting the puck and they're not going in the back of the net, Halak stands a good chance, man. For a real nice game here. So Halak is GPP relevant. Price, I think you can play Price in a GPP as well. I don't think I trust him in a cash game. Probably go to like Fleury or Rene for a cash game. I think maybe even Varlamov. But I think Price is in play for a GPP. As far as the Boston side offensively here, top line obviously. Marchand, Krejci, and Pasternak. That's where you want to go. I would jump over the second line. Maybe a shot on Backus. I don't think you need to do that though. He is a decent price at 3,600. I'd skip the second line all the way around and then drop down to the third line if you have any more interest in Boston other than the top line of Krejci, Pasternak, and Marchand. Jump down here to the third line and run this combo here, this line combo here of Donato, Carlson, and Heinen. Over the last 5 games, they've got 4 goals as a line, 4 goals, 5 assists on what is that? 37 shots. No power play points. Don't get a ton of ice time. This is GPP only. Donato, Carlson, and Heinen. It's worth a look. Jared, with you defensively on Krug for certain, but I would differ with you, however, on Grelzik. I would pay the extra $100 for Carlo, I think, as opposed to playing Grelzik. But that's just me. So that's it for Boston for me. Montreal side here, man. I like what they're doing here. I actually like how Max Domi is working out here. He seems to be a good fit for Montreal. Um, and I definitely think he's a good fit on that line with Druin and Shaw. So now that they're the top line, or at least the understood to be top line of Montreal here, it gives me more interest. Like you said, Jared, with the it could get an extra 2-3 shifts on the ice over the course of time. Domi is yeah, dude, I like Domi's attitude, man. I think he's a great play. So either wings, Druin and Shaw are both really good plays as well. Dropping down, you guys all know from previous videos, I don't play Denault. I would rather play Tatar and Gallagher, just wings off that second line. I don't think you need to do anything else there. And again, they're scoring from everywhere. So even with Montreal here, um, you could take a look at that third line, but again, it's going to be a big GPP. Small slate here. I don't think you need to go down there, man. But if if you're asking me right now, hey, Joe, you, you should be shocked tomorrow if Montreal's third line of firing Kotkaniemi, yeah, or whatever the hell his name, Kotkaniemi, Kotkaniemi, say it faster, what the hell, and Lekanen, those 3 guys, right? Would I be shocked if they scored 2 goals? Nope. No, I wouldn't, man. I would not be shocked if Montreal's third line scored 3 goals as a line. I wouldn't shock me, honestly. It wouldn't shock me. I think I'd be more shocked if you told me that Tatar and Gallagher's line scored 3 goals. I think that would be more of a shock to me than the third line scoring 3 goals, honestly. Now, I expect it out of that top line. That's their powerhouse line. That's where I'm going to focus my attention. Really, it's Drew, Domi, and Shaw. But as far as GPPs, I don't mind that third line either. Defensively here, give me some Shea. Give me some Shea Weber. High-priced defenseman. I think he's the best play as far as high-priced defenseman on the slate go. And to be honest, Shea Weber's the type of guy I like to play a lot anyway. And that's why, like Letang, he's another good guy to play. These offensively minded defensemen, Krug to a certain extent. Like, I understand that they're 6K, and we always say we don't, we want to pay down. We want to pay down for defensemen. Well, listen, Shea Weber, Chris Letang, Eric Carlson, Brent Burns, Torrey Krug, John Carlson, and we can go on and on. There's many of them out there, right? These higher priced defensemen that score and shoot a ton, man. To me, they're just an extension of the offense. But here's the thing. Shea Weber's getting 26 minutes of ice time, right? 26 minutes of ice time from Shea Weber at 6K as compared to is there anybody else? Okay, here you go. Brandon Gallagher, 6,200. 16 minutes ice time. So Shea Weber is getting almost 10 minutes more ice time every single game than what Gallagher is. Who's the better play? The numbers are the same. Even though Shea Weber's a defenseman, the numbers are the same. Weber's the better play, guys. So let's not get it too twisted when it comes to the defenseman like this. As far as price, like I said, I got a little bit of interest in price. I'm locking Shea Weber in. He may end up on every single lineup I put out there. And we got Jeff Petrie here at 5K. Don't rule him out either, man. Jeff Petrie's having a career year. I mean, Cole would obviously know better. But I mean, I'm almost certain Petrie's got to be having close to a career year, if not a career year right now. And I hope he keeps it up. Like I said before, I thought when Weber would come back, Petrie's production would fall off. It's not fallen off. If anything, it seemed to escalate, but his price isn't climbing much at all. So 4 goals, 3 assists, 17 shots, 3 blocks, almost 22 minutes ice time over the past 5 games, right? Jeff Petrie at 5K. Show me some Petrie love tomorrow, too. I tell you what, here's a good idea. Well, you guys might not think it's a good idea, but as far as me setting up a real quick lineup in my head as I'm sitting here looking at this, I don't mind taking Carey Price with Shea Weber and Jeff Petrie and starting a lineup that way. Give me the goalie and the 2 defensemen stack. Give me that those 3 guys as a pairing, right? I'll start a lineup like that and move on. I think that's completely safe, and I think those 3 are completely relevant in any tournament. You can make a shot and take a run on those guys right there, Price, Weber, and Petrie, and I think that's a pretty good start to a tournament lineup. Not too many people are going to run something like that. Next game up on the slate, Nashville Predators heading into Ottawa to take on the Ottawa Senators. The Predators are a minus 180 visiting favorite, over under 6 in this game. And we should see Pekka Rinne and Craigie Anderson here. Jared, what do you got here?
Yeah, before I get into this, I'm getting back to Mitch's point about the Boston tough defense here. And I like to say, kind of look at the goalie a little bit more in Halak. Halak's last 5, he's 2-3, it looks like. And each loss he's had has come on the road with giving up 3 goals, 5 goals, and 4 goals against. So, when I look at that, that's where I'm kind of going to aim at, kind of saying, that makes me think that he's going to give up 3 goals here. And am I content if like 2 of those 3 goals come from the same line that we're going to play? I think that's where we're going to look at. And it certainly, Mitch makes a good point when we look at if Rask was playing in Boston tomorrow, would that be a different scenario? And certainly I would probably have a complete different aspect on this game if it was Rask. But I just wanted to point that out and something to keep in mind. It is a lock tomorrow. He hasn't even won, at least I'm only going back the past 3 games or the past 5 games, and that takes him back to on the road on November 26th. So it's at least been since then that he's won away from Boston. So something to keep in mind that you might even steer to Carey Price getting those 3 points. But let's go into the Nashville game here. Really got burnt by Nashville the other night. I can swallow my pride and say that sucked. But hey, we live to play another day. Mainly interest for me here, guys, I'm looking, maybe it's Ryan Ellis at 5,400. I am not stacking this Nashville team until I see them pay off on a stack. So maybe Ryan Ellis, and I don't think I'm even going to play Rene just for the fact that he's 8,000, and I could probably get a goalie that I'm fairly certain is going to win and Carey Price cheaper. And with about the same average of shots against what I'm thinking, and that's why I'm not going to play Rene. When I look here, certainly when we look at the daily face-off last stats of Ottawa, we've seen some less goals here. Is it concerning? Nah, not necessarily. Certainly it's a nice little stack on the front part of that first line if you wanted to take a shot at Tkachuk, Colin White, Mark Stone. Since it is Rene in that, I'm going to assume that they're only going to hit for 2 or 3 goals. So I might want off Mark Stone for 6,100 in this instance is where I would probably go in this lineup. Thomas Chabot there, 5,700 is certainly a good defensive play as well. And interest in Craig Anderson down here, I think you certainly got to play to think that 6,900 for a Craig Anderson, certainly a nice price, certainly a nice chance for him on home ice tomorrow against the Nashville team that me and Joe has said they just are not scoring. Now, something to keep in mind, maybe the 6,900 isn't worth the risk that you want to pay the extra couple hundred for Carey Prices. The only thing that makes me wonder about this game, Ottawa is giving up 38.1 shots per game when you look over the course of the year. Now, the question is, do they convert those for goals? Now, that's what you got to figure out, and that's how you got to analyze it tomorrow. If you think that Nashville doesn't convert it for goals tomorrow, you're playing Craig Anderson for sure. At 38 shots against, giving up 1 goal like Nashville's been scoring with a win, you're going to be happy with that, and it's going to certainly boost you to the top if you hit your other plays. So Anderson is in play for me, but kind of minimal interest here, Joe. Maybe 2 guys from this game, but not much more.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. We got the Nashville team of one-offs. That's what I'm going to start calling them until they get their guys back here. That's all I think Nashville is a team of one-offs. I can't stack these guys. Every time I try to stack these guys, I donate my damn money, man. I'm sick of donating my hell. And if I don't donate my money by stacking these guys, I just donate it because I don't put in a damn lineup. You know what I mean? So I've been on a bad way here past few days, and I don't think that Nashville is going to pull me out of my funk here. So I'm not going to play them. I use them as one-offs. And if I am using them as one-offs, for me, it will be Hartman, maybe Craig Smith, Colton Sissons is interesting as far as that goes as a one-off. And I think that's about as far as it would go for me there. These guys are better defensively over here, I think. Yossi is just, whew, you know what I mean. At 6,600, give me Weber over Yossi. And hell, at 6,600, honestly, give me Jeff Petrie over Yossi too, man. I just don't think you need to go there. Seth Jones is a better play than Yossi. Just too much for me for Roman Yossi. Ellis and Ekholm, okay. I prefer Ellis at 5,400, but really, I don't know, man. I really like that defense of Montreal with Weber and Petrie both. Seth Jones, and we can Krug even, I think, is a better play than what Ellis is. Montour, even better play, but I'm not going to talk you off of these guys. I just kind of want you to get an idea of what I'm looking at here. I mean, for me in defense, I kind of pair them individually or compare them individually. Um, roughly considering the same price tag. And I mean, yeah, just ask yourself, do you want Roman Yossi in this situation, or do you prefer Shea Weber at 6K with better numbers tomorrow? I mean, like, to me, it's not a contest. So if you're running Yossi, it's in a stack with the forwards, okay? You're pairing a power play up or something. Um, I don't think you need to one-off Yossi at all, but if you want to take a shot on Ellis at 54, I wouldn't argue that too much. Or Ekholm at 4,700, I probably wouldn't argue that too much either. But I really don't think you need to do that. Pekka Rinne, I think, is in play every time he's in the net. But that's just me. I really think he is a good goalie. At 8K, you know, it would be okay. He'll see enough shots probably. I mean, you figure he'll see at least what 30 to 33 shots in this game. Um, you can give up maybe a goal or something. So, I mean, if you think that Nashville is going to go in here and win, you could play Rene, but I don't necessarily think that Nashville is just going to waltz up into Ottawa here and you know win this game going away or anything like that. I think I think they're struggling right now without their top guys up there. Um, so just temper your expectations right now for Nashville, if I could suggest anything. They're still a good team, but they're not the same team. Let's just keep that in mind. As far as Ottawa here, guys, I was on them. Everybody knows I was on them. They were scoring goals. Their games were going off for goals and goals and goals and goals and goals. I'm off them now, man. I really am. The only line I got interest in is the Kachuk line with White and Stone. Um, and I mean, those three guys right there, you could run them each on their own as standalone one offs, or you could run that line stack of all three of them together. I wouldn't mind it either way. Rest of the team, I don't think you need to go there. The rest of the team is not good enough that they're going to burn you. And if they beat you, that's variance, and you have to understand that. But as far as being better plays or smarter plays, no way. Just no way. Not when it comes to Ottawa. It's the top line. That's the best play from Ottawa. Those three guys, period. Anything else, like I said, is just variance. Thomas Chabot defensively, yes, man. He's in play. This young Rook, man, is just banging it out. So Chabot is certainly a great play. Can we grab anything else here, man? Not really. Cody Ceci maybe in a cash game would be okay at 3,700. He's shooting the puck. He's blocking shots. Um, so, mm, yeah, Shabbat. And you know what? It is Shabbat. I'm going to write down Cody Ceci tier 2. I'm going to dig into him just a tick more. Maybe an okay cash play as far as that goes. And Jared, you know what? I'm with you here. Anderson, a pretty large fill, 1,000, 2,000 people, something like that. GPP goalie. I think Anderson's kind of interesting when it comes to that. To be honest with you, so I'll keep both goalies in. Rennie more for cash. Anderson would be more for GPP. Not quite certain I'll touch that Anderson, but there's a good chance I might touch into Rene a little bit. Next game up on the slate, New York Islanders heading into Colorado. Remember, Colorado was already at home. We got the Islanders heading into that high altitude air. If you've never been to Colorado, even me being a stupid truck driver, bottom line, you step outside the truck, man, there's a noticeable difference in the air. Period. I don't care what anybody says. I'm from the East Coast over here where we get shitty ass, hot ass, humid, garbage summers, man. It sucks so bad. I have coal heat in my house and it's super dry air, but Colorado is just different, man. It takes a minute or two. Oh, not to mention the fact I'm a I smoke too, man. So yeah, whatever it is, what it is. I smoke too, so it makes a difference. I noticed it, and I sure as hell ain't no athlete, not at this age anymore. So with that being said, we got Grice in the net. So I seen Grice. I thought he had. Oh no, I'm wrong. Georgiev got called back up, right, for the Rangers today. Did I see that right? I think he got called back up. So Grice, it could be Grice here. I think Leonard started the last game. And Varlamov for Colorado. Colorado minus 190 home favorite here, over under of 6. So with all that being said, tell me how much you're in love with New York here.
Well, I tell you what, for New York, you know what? Those being Steeler fans would know what's called the killer bees, right? You had Ben, Bell, and Brown. Well, you know what? This Islanders team has the killer bee second line, which is Bovier, Barzal, and Bailey. That's really the only interest I would have in the Islanders here. That seems to be where most of their goal production is, the limited that there has been. But even if you wanted to one off Barzal, and 1 goal, 5 assists in this past 5 with 17 shots, he's a nice play. But the beauty is, if you wanted to game stack this with that second line, going over to what everyone knows is the ultimate fan love of that Colorado first line that is so pricey, you could do it. I mean, you got Rant and McKinnon, Landeskog. I think you got to at least play 2 of those guys. I'd love to play all 3 as long as you got to sacrifice somewhere for the cost. But I think that you could do that in a cost here of the Bailey, Barzal, Bovier. Even if you've done Bovier and Bailey and hope that Barzal pushes them up to get you some point action, that could do it, because you're getting point value out of all 3 of these guys now. Remember Landeskog? Everyone knows what the problem was with Landeskog, right? He's always been that expensive, but you'd see McKinnon and Rantanen with 15, 20 shots in 5 games. You'd see Landeskog 8. And that was the problem. And you know what has happened since then? They're all getting 20-plus shots in the past 5 games. These guys are on fire, and they're worth the play. I might make 2 lines just because I'm going to cram these guys in one. But I kind of want to have a backup plan. I don't think that, you look at this team, these guys are the only ones that really score. You got Comfer there with 2 goals, Andrighetto with 1. But, you can talk about these guys all day, but I don't think in a cash game play you're playing them. The downside of Colorado to me is the defense. It's easy to skip right over them because I don't have any interest in them defensively tomorrow. And the beauty of what we look at now, question you ask yourself, does Varlamov have a bounce back game at 8,300, or does he have a game like he has been? 5.9 GAA with a .855 save percentage in the past 5 games, guys, and then his 2 starts in the last 5. If that is the Varlamov we see tomorrow, I think you got to have that second line of Islanders in, and like I said, the price is going to pinpoint that, and I think you could do it. I think you could afford, a good 5 of these guys, the whole Colorado first line, run down, Bovier and Bailey with a cheap play. Find yourself a couple defensemen and get a goalie from another game, and you could have yourself a winning line tomorrow. And defense, certainly, if you're running that color, I don't see any world that I am playing Thomas Greiss tomorrow. So if he gets a shutout, I'll gladly give my dollar to whoever played him, the one guy in a 30-person contest that played him. I'd be honored to give my dollar to that guy because he deserved it for such a risk take. But I don't, looking at that stat, I don't want to rule out the Islanders for no goals tomorrow, but I'm certainly not heavy on them.
All right, here's my question to you. Does the Bovier, Bailey, Barzal line match up against the Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen line? Or Do you think they try to get Nelson, Eberle, and Lee out there against McKinnon's line?
Wait, which line? You want the second line matching up?
Do you think that New York is going to try to match up Eberle against McKinnon, Eberle's line against the McKinnon line, or do you think that New York is going to let Bailey's line run against the McKinnon line?
I think they're going to match first to first.
So, like, daily face-off first to first? So you're saying Lee, Nelson, and Eberle is going to match up against McKinnon?
Yeah, that's the way I'm thinking.
Then I get interested in Colorado's second line. Bailey's line gives up goals, man. Right? He's a horrible defensive forward. Am I mistaken with that?
Let's see. I'm going to look up.
I'm pulling off the top of my head, man. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Well, I do know in the last 10, Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen have given up 6 goals, 5-on-5.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I just want to know if I need to play the heavy-ass line with all that money or if I can drop down and play a cheaper line from Colorado. I don't think I can, but nonetheless, I really think that Bailey's line is the line that gives up the goals here, man, for New York.
In the past 10 games, 5-on-5, Nelson, Eberle, and Lee have given up 5.
Okay.
And Beauvillier, Bailey, Barzal have given up 2 in the past 10.
So we think they're going to match up Bailey's line against McKinnon, Eberle's line, or no, you think it's going to be Eberle's line against McKinnon?
Well, assuming if
they go 1-1-2,
this coach wants goals from their second line, I would think they're playing them against that first line. So it would be Barzal against McKinnon's line.
So it'd be Barzal against McKinnon's line, and then we'll have Confer's line, right, against
Eberle, Nelson, Lee.
Well, that makes me interested in Confer's line then.
Yep, could be. I mean, and there's goals there, right? Andrighetto and Confer both have goals.
They've combined, yeah. Well, they've combined for 3 goals, 3 assists on looks like roughly 36 shots in the past 5 games. That line, the line of Tyson Jost, JT Confer, and Sven Andrighetto.
Huh?
And the price tag, highest price is JT Confer at $4,100. Now I'm talking GPP play, right?
Yeah, that's certainly a good
tournament. You know what I mean? Just to get a little different because I want Colorado. I just don't want $8K on 2-player Colorado, man. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. But I agree with what Cole said here, right? What do you say? It's a little bit further back in the chat. Let me get what right here. Cole says they could be 9K and you'd have to play them on a small slate or you lose. I agree. I agree totally. Because if McKinnon's line scores 3 goals and you don't have them, you lost. If they scored 2 goals and you don't have them, you could lose. There's no games here that jump off the page, right? As we're sitting here going, hey, this is a 9-goal game. Come play this game. None of these games do that for me right here. Would you agree with that?
I think there is one out there, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict that one, because there's a lot of teams that have played both ways, right? The 5-goal nights and the 1-goal nights.
Sure. I'm not saying that they couldn't do this. I'm saying right now when you're looking at the sheet, you're looking at all the notes you jotted down. Nothing jumps off at me as a 9-goal game right here.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to the Boston-Montreal game, and that's the one. And
yeah, me too. And like I told you right from the door, I'm still on the Montreal side of this. I don't want no New York Islanders, guys. Even on a small slate here, I don't think you need to do that, and I'm not going to do that. So if the Islanders go off for goals here against Colorado, which I really do not believe that they're going to do, I'll lose. That's fine with me. I'll play again tomorrow. No big deal. But Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, you best believe I'm going to have me some of that. And I'll be honest, I'm going to try to stack all three.
Yep. And the beauty is there's definitely second line productive lines that are cheap tomorrow. That's the beauty of this.
Well, yeah, not just that, but see, I mean, even if we got to get stupid here, right? Even if we got to get stupid defensively, Nikita Zadorov for Colorado is only 2,700.
And what about that Boston second line? You were saying not in play. Maybe you sneak those guys in.
Sure. We're talking about Nordstrom and Cave, or is it Cave? Is that how they say Cave, right? And Bacchus. Yeah, it makes it interesting. Plus, you got Carlo there at 3,100 defensively for them too. So let's just take that into consideration. I mean, guys, I think for certain in cash games, you load up that top line of Colorado. I think you got to do it.
We're going to see a lot of low scores, right? We're going to be there looking at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and the leader of our contest is going to have like 8 points.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm big on Colorado line 1, but that's not my favorite play on the slate. My favorite play on the slate, honestly, is the defensive pairing up. The defensive pairing of Weber and Jeff Petrie is my favorite play on the slate. It's not even close for me. Those two guys are almost lock and loads for me tomorrow. Whatever I can do to get them in. I'm really digging them. How about Varlamov? You want some Varlamov? I think he's a little interesting here. He's just expensive, man.
Yeah, he really is.
What's his price? 83. 83.
You can't afford him with
that line. You can't play him with that line, dude. You're looking at 3 plays as 24,000 between McKinnon, Rantanen, and Varlamov. You're at 24K. Yeah, no. That puts you just a little over 4K for the rest of your plays, right? Maybe.
Okay, here's where his issue was. His big loss was against Edmonton, where he gave up 3 goals on 18 shots. That's why his stats are bad. His last game out, he gave up 4 goals on 42 shots to Dallas.
So we're looking at a 2-game sample size here on Daily Faceoff.
But listen to his last 5 starts, he's given up 0, a nice shutout win to Detroit. But then he gave up 6 goals to Pittsburgh, 5 goals to Tampa Bay, 3 goals to Edmonton, and 4 goals to Dallas. And it was at Pittsburgh, at Tampa Bay, then home at Edmonton, and home at Dallas.
Yeah, but, I mean, come on, man. You mean to tell me we're talking about numbers. The Cat had to play Pittsburgh, who we think should be a high, potent offense. He had to play Tampa Bay, which we know is a high, potent offense. He had to play Edmonton with the best player in hockey, the best player in the world. I don't know, man.
I'm just throwing out both sides here.
I know, but don't you think that's a little skewed there? I mean, he literally has just listen. He's had to play the former best player in the world in Sid Crosby, the current best player in the world in Connor McDavid, and also the future best player in the world in Brandon Point.
I think I'm just trying to talk myself to stack that Islanders at least.
I think what you're trying to do is talk yourself off of Varlamov when you know he's a good play.
Oh man, I mean, I know I'm not going to play Varlamov at that price, but
You're for certain not playing Varlamov?
yeah,
Not at all.
not one bit.
I'm circling him up. I'm playing him. You sound way too confident. You know that's backfiring. I gotta take a shot on him now. I can cross off Anderson now anyway. I ain't gotta take a shot there. Lose that one. I mean, really, what happened? Because we did just watch not that long ago, recent memory, right? Tampa Bay and Colorado faced off in Colorado, and Vasilevsky shut out Colorado in a 1-0 game. Varlamov and Vasilevsky, you know what I mean? They were going goal for goal here. Like, to jump off Varlamov makes me feel like that we're giving up on him, man, and he's not going to be in Colorado next year, which sucks. I don't think he will. I think he's done in Colorado, which is fine then. What do you want to do here with the game?
Oh, let's jump on her there.
All right, what do you got here?
All right, so I think tomorrow there for my diamond stack, I'm going with that back to that second line Pittsburgh against Anaheim, which is the Aston Reese, Malkin, and Kessel line.
Great pick. I'm going Boston line 2, Backus, Nordstrom, and Cave. No, it wasn't Domingue against Colorado, man. It was Vasilevsky. You look back. He shut them out 1-0. Vasilevsky. Yes, he did in Colorado. And guys, don't get mad. I'm allowed to argue with him. He's my little brother.
You know what, Joe? Since we're, this goes to our argument phase here. Since we are just disagreeing on Varlamov,
yeah,
my snowflake is going first line of Nashville. So I do got some interest in Craig Anderson tomorrow.
I don't blame you. I think Craig Anderson's an okay play, man, to be honest with you. Boy, maybe I should just throw it out there and ruin everybody's night, huh?
I don't think so.
If
you say that, no one subscribe.
I'm going to ruin everybody's night, and maybe I'll just say Colorado line 1, Snowflaker. I'm not doing that, though, man. I can't do that. I'd like to do that, though. Oh, man. See, now for my snowflakes, that kind of sucks. The only thing, I mean, the obvious play would be to say the Islanders. But I'm not going to do that. And then I think the second easiest one to say that would be a snowflake stack for me would be the Crosby line. But I really don't want to do that because I think Crosby's due. So give me line 1 from Columbus, the Dubois, Panarin, Atkinson line for my snowflake stack. You got a bowl?
Wow. I don't know if there is one tomorrow, but and this is how you wonder if there is one, because I'm going Matt Murray if he does start for the Penguins tomorrow, which I don't see that he's going to. I really don't. I see this being DeSmith starting. I don't know why they got. But then again, Sullivan has this romantic love for Matt Murray, so.
can't believe you said Murray, man. After all the rants that went on this channel about Matt Murray and his ability to guard the net. Ah, it's disgusting.
He got a win under his belt. He might be back.
Yeah, I know. I keep hearing that about the Pens all the way around. But you and I are way different tomorrow, man. That's kind of scary. I guess since I preached him up like there's no tomorrow, you know what I mean? Pretty much put the man on a pedestal. I guess I'm taking Varlamov, man.
I tell you what, though, Jeff, for a 5-game slate, this is a nice one. You know.
You tell me how interesting that Montreal stack is. Oh, Justin. Oh, man. See, I knew you were going to do it, dude. You did it, Jared.
Murray's the only reason they went to overtime to have to beat LA.
Okay. I'm pretty certain where I come from, Murray don't score goals.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that DeSmith would have shut him out.
Exactly. And we wouldn't even have to be talking about overtime. We wouldn't have to be talking about nothing.
I tell you what, Josh, I really want him to get back into the old DraftKings, bring him back here.
Yeah, well, we're going to get him back on here so him and I can argue it out with Murray, man. You know what I mean? Murray. Justin, you can't count that, though. I understand they gave up 41 shots, but it's different when you got a team that's shooting them right at the crest of your jersey, right? I mean, half of those 41 shots were right off his chest, man.
Well, yeah, that's why they're shooting him in his chest, because they only average 27. They don't know to shoot away from the goalie pads.
I will never agree with him on this Murray deal, man.
We won't agree on Sprung. I don't know if you liked Sprung or hated Sprung. I haven't figured it out yet.
Who, Justin?
Yeah.
I can't figure it out either. I hate Sprung. Well, no offense, but you know what I mean? I didn't hate Sprung. I just didn't think Sprung was ever meant to be in Pittsburgh, man. That's all.
There's so many players. Like I think Hagelin can be a great player. It's just he didn't fit in Pittsburgh anymore.
Justin hates Sprung.
Okay, well there we go.
Yeah, but don't you sort of compare? And even you, Justin, you can comment on there. Don't you sort of compare Daniel Sprung to being sort of the same type of player as Josh Levo, right? When they shipped Levo out of Toronto over to Vancouver. You know what I mean? It's just ice time, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, certainly something. I mean, look at a good example is now I'm drawing a blank here of the Pens trade for the third-line center there from Ottawa that we got that's struggled.
Brassard.
He was lighting it up in Ottawa, and he came down here and has just really tanked, if you ask me. Ice time makes a huge difference.
Sure. Well, yeah. I agree with that. Brassard, because he was in the top 6 in Ottawa, right?
Yep, he was their second line center.
Right, and then he comes down here. He's in the bottom 6. And Justin, I know Levo killed penalties, but the GM told him at the beginning of the year, because everybody knew Nylander was coming back, they were going to have to make room. I listened to an interview of Toronto's GM. He told Levo at the beginning of the year, if he couldn't get him ice time here, which, you know, it's hard to get Josh Levo ice time in Toronto. Let's not get that twisted. He's not as good as the forwards they got there. That he would move him so he could be utilized and get ice time somewhere else. Josh Levo is an excellent winger to be paired up with Elias Pettersson and who's he with? Brock Besser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That line, too, right there from Vancouver, man, has become one of my favorite lines in hockey right now. Yeah, Sully hated Spronger, though, because Spronger wasn't Sully's guy, right? Wasn't Spronger Belsma's guy?
Yeah, I think so. How long?
Or was, yeah, he was, I want to say Belsma's guy, right?
Let's see here. He was with the Penguins.
He was a Johnston pick, Justin's saying.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then it makes perfectly good sense why he wasn't a Sully guy then, right?
He was drafted in 2015.
Yeah, that's Johnston.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. Nothing Johnston did was right.
Well, yeah, he couldn't even tie his tie right. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm a stupid truck driver. Oh, whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, hope that was entertaining. We're gonna get Justin on here live with us, man. One of these nights we got, a smaller slate like this, so we can hash it out, and I can finally make Justin understand how much better of a goalie Marc-Andre Fleury is than Matt Murray, and how we would be going back to another Stanley Cup final if we had Fleury in the net as opposed to Matt Murray. Honestly, guys, and Mitch, make sure you make it in for that show. Call. You guys will love that for certain, because I don't understand what it is. Justin's in love with Murray for some reason, and I can't stand him, and I can't wait till they get him out of Pittsburgh. You know what I say, man? Here's what I say they do. And I don't even say that Rutherford does this shit. Here's what I say. Mr. Mario Lemieux, you pick up the horn right now. You phone and you give a call across the state. Not even that expensive. You ain't even got to pay the extra money to call Canada, Mr. Lemieux. You just call across the state to Eastern Pennsylvania over here in Philadelphia, right? And you tell them we got a good young goalie for you. We're shipping him your way. He's on the next eastbound train coming right to you, buddy. We're sending Matt Murray to the Philadelphia Flyers for some defensive players. Jared, who do you want? Do you want Gostisbehere? Do you want Provorov? I mean, who do you want defensively from Philly for Matt Murray?
No, they do got a nice good defensive core there.
Yes, they do. Justin, come on now. You know you can't argue that either. You can't argue that, Justin. You know that you would love to have another defenseman, because I also know how much you hate Kane. Or yeah, Letang. Justin hates Letang, so he'll give up Murray to get one of them defensemen in. And what's this Cole saying? McKinnon, Landeskog, Domi, Everly, Bailey, Weber, Price. That fit?
I think that's what he wants to know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's a hell of a lineup if that fit. I would. I would easily trade Murray for Provorov. Easily. How old's Provorov, Jared? 21?
7, so he needs 2 more guys in that lineup for Cole. So I'm thinking he would have 5,400. I don't know if he could do them all. To be honest, I think he'd have to drop out one.
3K remaining to fill a D and a winger. If you do a 2,500 D, that lists 3,500 for a winger.
That is possible.
It's absolutely possible.
It was a 3,500. I think there's a third liner for Boston or something that is around the 3,500 mark that you can.
Well, I know that Colorado had a 2,700, and then we're gonna get out of here. I know Colorado had a $2,700 defenseman, right?
Well, yeah, they always have that Nemeth that's cheap, and I got Colorado up still. It's
Zadorov, wasn't it?
Zadarov's usually cheap too.
Yep, Zadorov is 2,700. Nemeth. Yep. What about Zach Austin Reese as a winger? Hey, there's Miller.
Yeah, yeah. That's him saying it's time for bed.
Yeah, my dog don't bark. He just stares at me.
3,700 for Reese.
Ooh, that's too much. I don't know, Cole. I know Cole will definitely figure out a way to get it in there. It's a pretty good fit, man. That shouldn't be too bad. Even if you had to drop out one of them, as much as I hate to say this, Cole, it would bother me to do this. Um, Jared, maybe you can comment on this too. Would you drop Weberly, pick up Petrie for the added savings? That should give you an extra grand or so, right?
Yeah, I think 1,200. Isn't I think Weber's 6,000 and Petrie's 47, right? I think that's what it was.
Somewhere around there, yeah. 5K maybe. I'd
Yeah.
hate to take out.
We definitely need to get the chat thing that Cole was talking about so we can continue this offline. And
Yeah, absolutely. The Discord or where we're gonna look into that. So as soon as I get some time here, over the next day or two, 3, 4, whatever it may take me, we'll figure all that out. But guys, everybody, I appreciate it. Justin, next small slate, look into it. Try to get yourself some time. Get yourself situated. You know what I mean. Look. Get us like a. What do you think, Jared? Like a 4 game, 5 game slate, something like that.
yeah,
Match it up with your time off, Justin, and we'll get you in here. And we can hash out this Murray shit once and final for all. You know what I mean? You'll come over, you come over to the right side of the argument here, buddy. You know what I mean? You just want to be different. But add Yulson as your second D leaves 4,400. I would drop Bailey. Justin would drop Bailey. Bodker with the remaining. Look at that. He found it. He got it to fit by using Yulson and Bodker. I like Noah Yulson. I used him a lot this year. So props to Cole, man. That's a hell of a lineup, dude. Powerhouse. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Looks like Jared's falling asleep. Toothpick bending. Good luck to everybody tomorrow. We'll see you back in here again tomorrow night. And for anybody, just to touch base one more time, if anybody is having any issues, and I'm not going to rant about this, I promise you, Jared. If anybody's having any issues building contests in our league, please do what Jared and I did, and email support. Right, we kind of got a little bit of what we felt is a little bit of a runaround and some just crap, and it sucked. If you notice our lines, the contest just sucked. It couldn't send out mass invitation. It was just all bullshit. So if you have any issues, please email DraftKings support, and please let them know you're part of the DFS Quarry faithful. They've been told that. I have multiple chains. I was emailing back and forth with them this evening for about 2 hours over everything. So we have spent some time with them trying to figure it out. So if anybody else has any issues, even if you just want to, hit me up on Twitter, hit Jared up on Twitter. Even if you let a message in the league chat room, that's fine too. We can get it out of there. I can screenshot it and send it to them. Anything we need to do to try to get this worked out so we can build contests in our league a lot faster, a lot more efficiently without going through and trying to figure all that extra invite and not bullshit. No, we're not doing that shit. They got to figure it out. And that's it, guys. Good luck to everybody tomorrow, and we'll see you here again tomorrow night.